Sorry. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Royal Ramble, Orange County Championship Wrestling's flagship show on its flagship station, the free admission channel. The man to my left, he's known the world over as the future of the California wrestling indie scene. He's also known as the OCCW's intrepid reporter, but Jesus, this is not like walking in a mirror, looking in a mirror. I like to call him Mr. Jack Bruce Davidson. How you doing tonight, Jack? Bruce?
Well,
Davidson?
I'd be doing better if I had a next round of Bushido to look forward to, but, Jack Cartwheel just got lucky, and, every dog has its day, and,
Yes.
there will be other victories because he won the battle, but come Bushido Cup May 9th, we're going to win the war.
Well, as you know, the Orange County Championship Wrestling's annual Bushido Cup will commence. Well, actually, will come to a close on Saturday, May 1st. Get your tickets. We got ringside seats, ringside front row, $35. We have general admission, the low price of $20. Look, the way things are going, right? Things are going to start to open up. But guess what? Just like food, just like gas, just like any other service that was going on during the pandemic, the price went up for no real good reason. Even though they were selling more of it, they decided to raise the prices because they could, and they used the pandemic as an excuse. Our prices have not increased all that much.
Nope.
And I'm not going to blame the pandemic for anything. So once again, that's Orange County Championship Wrestling's annual Bushido Cup, the culmination of the Bushido Cup tournament. 8 wrestlers, 7 matches, 1 championship cup to be given on the 1st of May. May Day. That's at the Della O Training Center. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. Tickets are $20 general admission, $35 ringside. Hey, Ashley Hunter, hey, good to see you. Good to hear from you. Hope everything's going well. Taking part in the tournament, we're going to bring to you tonight another match in that tournament. The match between Rickster, your good friend Rickster,
Don't
and
make me laugh. Come on.
and the Holy Warrior, Baptiste. You're gonna love that match. We're gonna take a look at that as we go along.
Let's go Baptiste.
Woo! Okay, quick announcement, big announcement here. Also added to the card, Bushido, a women's match. We have Mariah Moreno. That's right, the Southern California wrestling she-legend will be taking on Aaliyah Maya. She is from NorCal, so you have SoCal versus NorCal. These two women are just ready to bring it, and I know Aaliyah is new to the game. Mariah, well, she's been around for a while, and now we're gonna see the talented ring veteran against the up and comer. Here, May 1st. Go ahead.
Did you say it's NorCal versus SoCal?
That's right.
So it's the Lumberjacks versus the Surfers. It is the hipsters versus the stoners.
No, first of all, I've never surfed. I've never gotten stoned. I have cut down trees, right? I've never been hip. So to categorize, that's very, what you're doing is your what do they call that?
What am I?
Stereotyping. Thank you. You're stereotyping Southern Californians versus Northern Californians. Very irresponsible.
Yeah.
This is 2021. You can't be stereotyping people and throwing such things. The views and opinions of Jack
Come
Bruce
on.
Davidson are the views and
on.
opinions of Jack Bruce Davidson
Oh,
alone.
my
They do not
God.
represent the views and opinions of Orange County Championship Wrestling, the Royal Ramble, nor the free admission channel. Jeez, I'm very disappointed, Jack Bruce
What?
Davidson. Very disappointed.
What are you disappointed about? Come on.
Look, you don't have to keep up that facade. Your sensei is not here.
Facade?
You can go back to being the nice young man that I met who walked through my door and said, hey,
That
I want to
nice
learn pro
young
wrestling.
man was getting beat up by divine intervention.
Rickster has just weighed in. He's called you a racialist.
What the? Rickster, you get out of here right now with that mess, or else I'm going to slap your stupid mutton chops off your face.
Strong words from an inspired man, JBD. Rickster, the rivalry continues.
God, I'm living rent-free in your head, Rickster.
Also on the card, another up-and-comer, Chris Nasty, in great shape, looking good, making noise all across the indie scene in SoCal as we get started back up. He's going to be taking on Alexander Vega, the resident badass of Orange County Championship Wrestling. Okay, that and much more. We're going to go into that a little bit later. We're going to talk about the brackets right now. So, by virtue of his victory, was it Baptiste? It was saw Vito taking on Tiger Kid last week, right?
Tiger Kid.
And Tiger Kid, gave him a hell of a fight. Vito wound up winning the match and advancing to the the semifinal round of the tournament. So we're gonna bring you that match where it's gonna be Cartwheel versus Vito, right? Might want to come check that out. But right now we have the match between Rickster and Baptiste. Once again, Rickster and Baptiste, they've advanced to the semifinals, and we're going to take a look at that right now.
By the way, Rickster, I'm not threatening a Latino. I'm threatening a nerd.
You calling me a nerd?
No.
You didn't threaten me, so... Oh, okay, here we go. So, on the left, the up-and-coming Rickster in the 80s era ring attire, and that big, strong man, Jean-Baptiste, boom, going for the lockup. Not a good idea. Rickster spot, boom. Shoved to the ground like a rag doll.
Yeah. Tossed him like a bag of potatoes.
Oh! Up to the challenge is Rickster, going for the low, messing with his vertical base. Boom, another drop kick puts Baptiste in the corner.
Everybody.
What would you call that?
Call that the nerdy line.
All right. Arm drags him out of the corner. That's fantastic. He's using his speed. He's using his agility to take him off his base. Hey, who's that referee?
Oh, that's David Holoka.
Okay. You look awful familiar. You look awful similar. You guys related?
No. I look nothing like that jiu-jitsu jackass.
Hey. David Holoka is a good friend of mine.
Oh, sorry.
On the cover, 1, 2. Whoa!
Oh,
we got air. You got like 3
flying.
feet of air. Next time we're going to have to get a hang time on that kick out.
Trying to fight, go blow for blow with Jean-Baptiste is not a smart endeavor.
No, definitely not. Especially when you're the size of Rickster. There's a size differential there that is, blatantly in favor of Jean-Baptiste. Baptiste is still hurting. Rickster's still moving.
I hate the son of a bitch, but I got to give it to him. Cutting down the big man at the legs is a smart strategy.
That's a good way to wreck your back.
Northern white suplex.
Ay, jeez.
Goodness gracious.
And the ring is looks like a little worse for wear. Maybe we're gonna have to replace that canvas, huh?
Might have to replace that canvas.
Yeah, maybe I'll replace that canvas.
Yes. Rickster's not looking too good right now.
Rickster's getting the worst of it right now, even though started off hot.
Now he's not.
That's using the head.
Yes. I guess you could say Baptiste was using his noodle. 1, 2, 3. It's okay if you don't get caught.
Yeah. Oh, Baptiste Baptiste is a strong, scary man. A big forearm to the back, right into the spine, boom, and a size 16 to boot.
Baptiste is trying to send a message to him and everybody else in SoCal that he's going to be converting everybody.
It's the holy man with a mean streak.
The holy man with the holy plan.
There you go. Backbreaker from Baptiste. He's taking his sweet time. He's managed to slow the Rickster down, and he's systematically dismantling his offense. 2. Another kick out by Rickster.
See, what Baptiste is doing is he's keeping his pacing about him. He's bringing Rickster to him. He's not running up to him. He's slowing the match down and effectively cutting the ring in half.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Rickster's looking a little worse for wear.
Come on, get him off the ropes. Come on. Get him up. Get up. 1, 2,
Choke him against the ropes. Baptiste using every millisecond of that count.
Come on, Rickster. Come on, Rickster. Shot!
seen that in a while. Have you?
Bear hug, you see them all the time. You know, the big guys are always the best at utilizing it because they're able to take their opponents off the ground and really centralize the brunt of the strength in that. Focus on the lower back, and that's, you know, if you've ever hurt your lower back, it's incredibly painful and immobilizing.
It's a genius strategy by Baptiste because, you know, he can't fly if his back hurts.
That's right, you can't fly with a broken back or a broken wing, as it were.
Double stomps to the back.
That's another way of taking out someone's lower back if you can't quite put a back up. Once again, hang time on that kick out.
Rickster's a little worse for wear right now. Big boot. Right to the face.
Rickster's getting worn down. He's throwing offense at him, but he's coming up just a little bit short each time. Old-fashioned scoop slam. High leg drop from the bigger man. 1, 2, and another kick out from Rickster. You know, this match has turned into quite the technical affair. Baptiste looks like, is he thinking of going up on the ropes?
Baptiste is he's got some devious plot on his.
Looks like he's pulling something out of his hand. Oh, he's barehanding it. Quite the opposite.
No.
Quite the opposite. He's coming for his finisher. That's called the, what does he call that?
I believe it's the
Iron Claw?
Iron Claw, hand of God.
Yes, I haven't seen that since the Von Erichs were walking, were gracing the rings. Good idea for Rickster to take out that lower vertical base.
Chopping down the red.
Boom, big knee to the head.
As much as I have disdain for this SOB, I have to admit that he's smart.
Oh, it's tough to pin someone in that spot. There's so many options for the guy other than the kick out, grab the rope, foot on the rope. There's, too many ways out for him.
A simple splash is not going to keep Jay Baptiste in.
Rickster giving it all he's got. Ah! Ankle breaker. That is incredibly painful. I've had that done to me on more than one occasion.
Baptiste still has a lot of strength in that left leg. Just keeps batting him away like he's a gnat or a fly.
Waving him off, yeah.
Mosquito. To the midsection. Head.
Whoa! Huge clothesline from Baptiste. Nowhere to go. His body took the whole shock, Rickster did, and now he's down. And I can't imagine that he's gonna be any better from this.
Not only is he big, he's fast.
Braden Robinson is watching. Thanks for tuning in, Braden. Oh, to the middle turnbuckle.
High rent district.
Drop kick from the top rope. Missile drop kick, I guess you would call it.
Single leg drop kick. Rickster's not done.
And try again. He's going to hit his head on the second floor of the training center.
I hope he does.
Oh, splash! Oh my goodness, Rickster! What, would you say that was an upset? I'd have to say it was an upset. Rickster will advance to the finals of the Bushido Cup, May 1st, here at the De La O Training Center. He is in position to win the third annual. Well, it's hard to say if anything's an annual cup anymore, but the third annual Bushido Cup, non-pandemic Bushido Cup championship. That's right. So now he's set to face either Jack Cartwheel or the spaghetti-bending madman Vito Fratelli. We'll have that match for you next week. Make sure you tune in. Don't you dare miss it. All right. One half of that match is made. we will see the up-and-coming Rickster against either Cartwheel or Vito. Make sure you tune in next week. All right. Let's talk a little bit about WrestleMania. I know a lot of people were watching WrestleMania this year. It was, for the first time ever, it was a 2-night affair. Now, the interesting thing about WrestleMania, it's done things like this before. WrestleMania 2 was in 3 different locations.
Anaheim, I believe, right?
No, it was the LA Convention Center. No, the Los Angeles Sports Arena, the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, and then the Nassau Coliseum in New York, if I'm not mistaken. So they had 3 different locations. The Bulldogs won the title, I think, in Nassau. Hulk Hogan beat King Kong Bundy out here, and I don't remember what else went on. Maybe the Intercontinental, I don't remember. Anyway, but to have it in 2 nights, that, you go back a little ways. The Jim Crockett Tag Team Tourney, the Crockett Cup, used to be a 2-night affair. I can't think of too many big cards that are 2-night affairs. Tell me about it. Now, I try to watch the WWE product. It's very difficult to stay focused, and it is my job to know what's going on in the wrestling world. However, the sports entertainment world, I figure, is not my responsibility. So, tell me, was there any carryover, aside from the main event, was there any carryover from night 1 to night 2?
Yes, in fact. Night 1, they had a women's tag team gauntlet match, basically to determine the number 1 contender for the women's tag team championships for night 2.
Okay.
And basically, but in terms of carryover, that would be just about it.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, they moved the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal to the SmackDown before, as opposed to it being part of one of the WrestleManias.
Wow.
I guess they didn't want a pre-show this year.
Wow.
And
there was a time when the Battle Royal, especially the one in LA, every year they had the Battle Royal, and every year Andre the Giant would win it. But every year it was such a big deal. When you heard the names that were all going to be in the ring at once, as a kid, wrestling was, and it was Andre the Giant's going to be in the ring with Tito Santana and Sergeant Slaughter and Rocky Johnson
and Colonel Mustafa
and the Wild Samoans, and you were like, what happens if it's only Tito Santana and Andre the Giant in the ring? Or what if it's just Jimmy Snuka and Sergeant Slaughter? And there was so much imagination involved, and there was so many variables that made it so exciting. And the reality is, to have it move down that far, like to be, demeaned.
Well, I think that they didn't want the card of WrestleMania. They didn't want the card of WrestleMania to be too long, and because like
2 nights.
That's why they broke it into 2 nights, because as opposed to, as a wrestling fan, watching wrestling can be exhausting. So as opposed to having one WrestleMania that's like 5 or 6 hours and have strict time constraints, they opposed to break it into 2 nights where it's like about 4.5 hours apiece. So the time constraints are still strict.
Sure.
But if you go over like 5 minutes, it's not the end of the world.
I see.
And it's funny talking about time restraints because night 1 there was actually a rain delay because they held it in Raymond James Stadium, which is an outdoor venue where your favorite man Tom Brady won the Super Bowl. but
there's no justice in this world. As long as Tom Brady is still winning Super Bowl and not getting crunched like poor Joe Montana did, there's no justice in this world.
I mean, Pat Mahomes got crunched in that Super Bowl.
Someday we'll have football night on the Royal Ramble. We'll talk about what I think happened to Kansas City at that Super Bowl. But go on.
Of course. But basically, so there was actually a weather delay because it was held in Tampa, Florida, which is known for being humid and rainy. Right. So the first half hour of WrestleMania was postponed because there was rain. Then they had to evacuate the live crowd that was there.
They had to evacuate? Oh,
not evacuate. They had to
move them inside.
Move them inside because of lightning hazards.
That's crazy.
And during that half hour, they actually had improv interviews.
Okay.
So
well, they actually did promos without a script.
Yeah. So basically, you got to see They pretty much passed it around. You got to see Shane McMahon, Bobby Lashley, MVP. You got to see Roman Reigns, Edge. The list goes on. And I have to say, when you take a script out of somebody's hands, it feels like you could see the pressure leave their face.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's like you don't have
freestyling.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's like reading a textbook versus reading a study guide.
Right, right.
It's like, are you going to read the whole textbook, or are you just going to stick to the bullet points?
I get you.
I'm getting carried away. But that was fascinating of night one because due to the circumstances, the live promos happened.
Yeah.
And it started out with Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre, which was a heavy-hitting match, as you could guess by the size of those two gentlemen.
Sure.
You know. And you want results? I'll give you results. Basically, Bobby Lashley took it, and the main event consisted of Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks, which was a classic. It was an amazing match, and both main events were the Royal Rumble winners, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So there's some consistency to that.
And Brian Chansey says, I ended up watching Korean wrestling instead.
Hey, that Korean wrestling is pretty good.
It is pretty good.
I can't argue with that decision.
Yeah, that's exciting. So, okay. So you watched the whole thing. Night 1 or night 2? What did you prefer?
Well, night 2 wasn't bad, but night 1, I prefer it because we got to see the card was overall had better matches, in my opinion, because night 2 consisted of the hype matches, and when there's hype around something, it can underperform.
Sure.
And that's not to say they were bad. It's just it didn't meet expectations.
Right.
Whereas in a night 1, Bad Bunny actually put on a credible wrestling match.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and no, not just credible. He was really good.
Well, here's an interesting thing. I think now that wrestling has been mainstream for a long time, like I saw wrestling go mainstream when I was a kid, right? But up to that, when they would get the celebrities on there, they'd grown up thinking of wrestling as a joke, so they act, it's just a matter of, making an ass out of yourself. Oh, no one takes wrestling seriously, etc., right? I think now people like Bad Bunny, who's the other guy?
Pat McAfee.
And Floyd Mayweather even. And
Floyd.
and that idiot from YouTube, what's his name?
Logan Paul?
Yes. There's a Jake or Logan?
Logan.
Jake is a fighter.
Okay, whichever one that took the beating. I think they all have more respect for wrestling as anything else. And so I think that you're getting less stupidity from the younger stars, celebrities, as it were.
And he actually pulled off a Canadian Destroyer in that match.
Did he really?
Yeah, he hit a Canadian Destroyer, and everybody in the crowd was just like, oh my God, a pop star hit a Canadian Destroyer.
That's interesting.
When some indie wrestlers can't hit a Canadian Destroyer. But I digress there. But
some big time wrestlers can't hit the Canadian Destroyer
of course.
either. Yeah.
And it just goes to show that he put in the work and that he decided to commit to wrestling as opposed to just seeing it as another media outlet.
I see. Well, that's exciting. That's very interesting.
Also, we got to see Mandy Rose fall on her ass due to the because it rained and they have a metal ramp, and
right.
during the gauntlet she was like power walking down to the ring. She just slipped and
they had those hard sole shoes that they power walking.
Yep.
Oh man, that's too bad.
And like the internet was harsh.
Yeah. Were they?
Yep.
All right. Now, so a lot has been made about Bryan Danielson wrestling, Edge wrestling, Roman Reigns. All right. Now there's so many variables there. Why is it that WWE elected? Well, how is the worst possible outcome Roman Reigns retaining the title?
Well, yes and no, because on one hand, WWE was trying to hype you remember the original Yes movement back in WrestleMania 30 back in 2014.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to recapture that.
No,
flame.
let me comment on that. I mean, I have seen Hulk Hogan. I have seen Stone Cold Steve Austin. I remember even Andre the Giant. I remember Ric Flair. And I have never seen a wrestler so over as I saw that yes move. Yes. That yes shit would come in indie shows. Everyone started going, yes. I mean, other guys would say, what do you think? Should I do this? Everyone started going, yes. It was so over. And for them not for Bryan Danielson, or I'm sorry, Daniel Bryan, I saw him years ago. For him not to be mentioned along the lines of Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, someone who could have been that popular, that's just a scathing put down of what WWE is capable of. It's like they can't catch lightning in a bottle. It's their creations or nothing. That's what it looks like to me.
So, actually, I'm going to comment on that.
Okay.
And this might be a hot take, but I don't think Daniel Bryan should have been in that match. Now, hold on.
I'm listening.
It's because Edge just came back from retirement, and then basically what they tried to do was they tried to turn him heel. And it worked with Batista and Randy Orton because people didn't want to see Batista back in 2014 be the champion because Batista was they were trying to book him as like this good guy. It's like, no, dude, you went to Hollywood, you know?
Yeah.
And like,
so did Rock, so did John Cena.
Yeah, but like with Batista,
he can actually act.
I mean, yeah, but basically what the problem with Batista was he wasn't Daniel Bryan during that hot period.
Right.
I mean, and you could see that based on how Rey Mysterio was booed out of the building. One of the most likable wrestlers of all time. Anyways, so Daniel Bryan shouldn't have been in that match because it made the fans conflicted because they tried to turn Edge heel right before WrestleMania. And it's like the crowd was like, no, we want to cheer you, Edge. Why are you hitting Daniel Bryan with a concerto? And it made Roman Reigns an afterthought in that match.
Okay, so what you're saying is what should have been done differently?
I would have kept either I have Edge versus Drew McIntyre because I feel like that would have been a good match,
right?
Or I would have had Edge versus Roman Reigns because if you put Daniel Bryan in the match, it just kind of makes the crowd. It's like too many chefs spoil the soup,
Okay. I just think that Daniel Bryan, as over as he has been and as over as he can be in the future, I mean. I guess Roman Reigns is over as a heel, right?
Yeah, I mean...
more so than he was as a face, right?
He's doing the best promo work of his career, by far.
Okay. I think that Daniel Bryan was more over than anybody since Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't know why you don't want to do that with your ratings lagging, right? With your buy rates going down, with the, fewer people are watching the network than ever before. Now that it's on Peacock, right? It has more eyes on it, but fewer people are buying it. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a billionaire like Vince McMahon. He obviously knows what he's doing. It's hard for me to see someone like Daniel Bryan having to take a back seat to someone who's already been out of the business and another person who's couldn't get over.
Now,
go ahead.
Now I understand why they wanted to give it to Daniel Bryan because as I reported a while ago, Daniel Bryan was considering that this is gonna be his last run as a full timer.
Okay.
Now he's gonna go part time. He's probably gonna be like a once every 3 pay-per-view guy because
Hulk Hogan, like Hulk Hogan, right?
Yeah, well, kind of like Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan
because he had his son and he wants to be more of a father.
Sure.
And so I can understand them wanting to give him that moment, but it kind of there's too many lights on too many people.
Yeah, that's a real good point. Okay, so overall, your take on WrestleMania: thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
I gave it a thumbs up, honestly.
Right.
It was a pleasant surprise because there were certain matches that I was going in they're gonna mess it up. They're gonna mess it up, but it was a pleasant surprise. Bad Bunny didn't do the Charlie Sheen. And,
all right.
And everybody did very well.
So this was WrestleMania 36, yes?
37.
37. Jeez, man. 37 years ago, I sat in my friend's house waiting for WrestleMania to come. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. That's a long time I've been watching WrestleMania, and I still couldn't bring myself to watch it again.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Those of you who are watching, John Clark is watching. Luther Dansby is watching. Brian Chansey is watching. Braden Robinson is watching. All of you out there who are watching, if I forgot, Ashley is watching. Rickster's watching. Kristen Teresa Bell is watching. I want you guys to let me know what your favorite WrestleMania moment this year was as we move along. Let's talk a little bit about yourself. Let's talk about Bushido Cup and where you're going and what you got planned.
Well, if you want to know, after Cartwheel got that lucky win on me, and you could say whatever you want, the lights were bright. I had to wear my purple tights, as you saw. I wasn't in my leather. Okay. So after that, what Sensei Azrael doesn't want to tell you is that he basically sent me with a bag of clothes and a toothbrush and said, go up to the Rocky Mountains. If you survive, come to Bushido Cup. If you don't, you don't. So I was up there for a week and a half. I was training hard. I was passing guard. The elevation difference. I was mile high.
Sure.
my lungs were on fire.
On fire.
And at that point, you know what? I was awoken, honestly speaking. And you know what? I feel sorry for whoever has to face me at Bushido Cup because they're going to face a new and improved Jack Bruce Davidson. And I'm going to take them to Skid Row. And that's all they need.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our good friend Jack Bruce Davidson is ready for Bushido Cup. All right.
You show me the person and I'll break them.
Okay. All right. Moving right along. Those of you who are familiar with OCCW know that we have been doing the podcast for 5 of the 8 years that we've been in existence now. So it's been 5 years. We're going to have a special show June, I believe it's June 3rd will be our 1000th show. No, not 1000th. 500th. I don't remember. Anyway, it's going to be our anniversary show. So make sure you tune in. We're going to have guests from the past, guests from the present, and stars of the future. Don't miss out. That's going to be this June. So you got 30 days to plan. If you want to come in, we're going to do a live remote from one of our shows, the Royal Ramble, live and in the world. Make sure you don't want to miss that. Okay, we are on a kind of a shortened schedule today, so we're going to bring our show to a close. Are you here, Robert?
Yep.
All right, Robert, you had a special announcement. Did you want to make that announcement about the? Is it too early to make that announcement?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. Did you have another match queued up for us, Robert?
No, we only have one.
Okay, can you find us another one real quick? All right. So, but we're not going to leave you, high and dry without a little bit of something to remember us by. Once again, while we're finding that match, let me make the announcement. Saturday, May 1st, here at the Della O Training Center, Bushido Cup. You'll see the likes of Jack Bruce Davidson, Royale versus the OCCW Heavyweight Champion for the title.
And I got you, Azrael. I got you.
Gusten Thunder Uberstud will lock up for what may be the final time. Oh, well, that's your can. That's invisible. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at my hands right behind you. Oh, wait. Oh, all right. That said, a Wayne's World Extreme Close-Up. That is Bushido Cup, Saturday, May 1st. Tickets are $20 general admission, $35 ringside. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. First bell will be approximately 20 seconds after this. Bushido Cup. See the 3rd annual Bushido Cup championship, or champion being crowned. Now, those of you who've been to the Bushido Cup before and you've seen the beauty of that cup, you're not going to want to miss it. Those who haven't been, it's an experience once in a lifetime. It may be the last OCCW show we do here at the dojo for a while, as I've been in talks with both 716 and 555 as they are eager to have us back and in full throttle. We're going to do the Battle Royal soon. All right, so you're not going to want to miss that. What do you think of that, the Battle Royal there, JBD?
I know something about Battle Royals.
Yes.
And you know what? I think that the contrary to the belief, second time's the charm.
Second time's the charm. Yeah. You made your debut at OCCW in the Battle Royal. Once again, Orange County Championship Wrestling presents Bushido 2021. He just took all the information. I'm just kidding. Bray Wyatt was robbed. Yep. Someone robbed Bray Wyatt? Tell me about that. That was the Fiend. Okay.
Man.
Okay.
So
you got one?
Heidi versus Rickster?
Okay.
So
not yet, but go ahead. Let's hear about this. Bray Wyatt was robbed.
So Bray Wyatt during WrestleMania, he returned as the Fiend, and Alexa Bliss was there. She was doing her best. Like I don't want to say Harley Quinn, but like
that kind
the
of
Stockholm syndrome.
Okay.
And basically, he came out from a giant Jack in the Box. It made me think that he was gonna come out with a buttery Jack. But basically, during the match he had it won. And then he was distracted by Alexa Bliss, pardon me, and she had this different costume on, and now she was posing as Sister Abigail, which is
right.
Bray Wyatt's...
He's always referencing her.
Yes, that's Bray Wyatt's beau.
Okay.
And then basically he got distracted. Randy Orton hit the RKO. 1, 2, 3. The Fiend lost at WrestleMania. And it's like, how many losses can you give somebody before they lose their credibility?
Oh my God, they're just mismanaging that shit all the hell, huh?
You know, it's like,
You know what it looks. You know when I watch WWE, because like I said, I try to watch it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to look like WCW. It really is. It really is. Without the NWO, but the match is not making sense, and guys getting pushes and then falling flat. It's sad. We got a match here. Robert has it queued up. The lovely Auntie Heidi versus the up-and-coming young man Rickster. This was about a year ago.
Social Dystopia.
Social Dystopia. This was late November, was it?
This was
September.
September.
September 2020. Right? We were in the heart of the pandemic, but we said, we're going to do this right. You'll notice the social distancing, the masks, temperatures being taken.
I don't remember seeing this match. I was too busy getting scraped up off the ground in the training room. After those divine intervention sons of bitches got me.
Big John Clark in the ring, the lawman at hand.
Where was my best friend at the time? He's out here shaking his ass for these people.
Your best friend.
Former best friend.
There's Rickster. This is making his OCCW debut, if I'm not mistaken, right?
We debuted on the same day. We told each other we'll have each other's backs, and didn't have mine. As you can see, when those matches were shown, we both had our quarantine 15.
Quarantine 15 meaning you gained a little weight? COVID 15?
But Azrael slimmed me right down.
Yeah, he sure did. Want to give a shout out to Kristen Bell and to her alter ego, Auntie Heidi. Well, what a beautiful evening that looks like, huh?
Oh my goodness. Wonderful weather. How many times do we have to keep teaching you this lesson, Rickster? Don't square up with people that are bigger than you, stronger than you.
Oh! That's a face plant if ever I've seen one. Oh, he sits through and gets that arm wringer.
Crafty like an octopus.
Yes. Heidi is incredibly strong. Not just for being a woman, but for being a human.
Oh yes. Uncanny strength. One's not gonna work.
Oh,
Head scissors.
peeled off of that head scissors. Oh, Heidi. Taking
And
a monkey flip from Rickster. Heidi moving to the side a little bit, lessening the blow on that. Whoa, to the second rope. Big boot to the face of Heidi. Rickster.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus.
What
Well,
a big move.
a big move. That's a good way to put it.
As Vince McMahon would put it, what a maneuver.
What a maneuver.
Yep. Rickster, don't chase her outside. Good things are not going to happen.
One. Get back in the ring, guys. Two.
Feels like she baited him in. Is she choking him? She is choking. Big Irish whip to the corner. Oh, what a splash. Big drop kick to the back.
Two. What?
Rickster with a few right hands. Jumping crossbody.
John Clark, referee John Clark says he'll be in the ring with his stripes on May 1st, laying down the law and making sure the right people win.
Oh man, I don't.
I assume he means that that it's called fair and down the middle. That's
Totally.
yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Definitely. What do you insinuate?
Nothing, to just crafted awfully weird. I know John; he's a man of great integrity, so
Oh, of course.
it's just obviously a grammatical quirk.
Of course. Gariship.
Oh, a big knee to the midsection.
Goodness gracious.
Another knee. Rickster's midsection has got to be wrecked.
Oh man.
We're gonna call him the Rickster. Get it? Rickster? No.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Oh, backbreaker.
Backbreaker.
Let me talk to you.
If Heidi hits this, it's over. That's it, it's over.
Oh. Once again, we talked about that last match with Rickster where, trying to get the cover in the corner nearest the ropes. There's too many options for the man on the bottom to use to really get a clean getaway.
Of course.
So another big boot to the face. Forearms from Rickster. Trying to break down Heidi. Looks like he's had it. He's just putting some beats on her.
She's getting fired up.
Big clothesline. Climbing dropkick.
And whoa!
Belly to back.
Belly to back.
Rickster going to the second rope.
Didn't get all of that frog splash.
Yeah, his feet kind of hit the ground a little early on that frog splash.
It's due to those knees to the gut, basically.
Yeah.
Really added fatigue to it. Trying something up.
Oh, try to double axe handle all of Macho Man, and now he's got a big handful of throat, or a throat full of hand, actually.
Took too much time. Not going down without a fight.
Oh,
Oh,
choke slam
choke
from
slam.
Auntie Heidi. One,
Count to 100.
2, and 3. Oh my goodness, an inauspicious beginning
Man.
for our good friend Rickster. But clearly he's rebounded from that. He's gone 2-0 in this tournament, and he's vying for the Bushido Cup. That's Saturday, May 1st, here at the Del Ojo Training Center. Orange County Championship Wrestling Training Center. Doors open at 5:30. General admission is $20. Ringside is $35. Once again, that's Bushido 2020, May 1st, 5:30 p.m. We want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. We want to thank you all for taking interest in OCCW. We know you have many options with which to spend your viewing time. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to wish you a happy rest of the week. I want to wish you a happy night, and I want to wish you take all of your bumps